Let's get it. Here we go. Smash those likes, guys. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back for the second live stream of the day, 3 p.m. on a January 6th Tuesday, and the markets are still in the green for the week. They're obviously a little red here on the day. We've had a little bit minor pullback, little setback here for Bitcoin. So let's jump right into it, guys. What is happening with Bitcoin's price? Bitcoin's price here right now has pulled back, right? Has dumped, had a nice little dump-a-rooski all the way down to the previous day low, all the way down at 91,000. Actually, we hit 91,259. We swept this previous day low. We took a long on this sweep. I already closed out my long somewhere around 92,153. We're most likely going to be pumping up to this 382 fib of 92,420 bucks. But you know what? I took off early. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be staring at this trade all day. It's been a slow, steady climb. I'm okay with a 13% win. We already took a short this morning as well. We shorted the 94,100 top here. This rejection, rode it all the way down. Closed a little early here, closed right below 93,000. Obviously, it kept dropping. It blasted right through the gold pocket at 92.6 and just came straight down for the previous day low, which is fine. Hit our gold pocket. Hit our support area here. We got the sweep that we were looking for. Took along. Got 2 wins for the day, walking away with a little bit over 300 smackaroons. Well, actually, well over 300 smackaroons. About 350 for the day. Let's go. That's more than enough. I don't need to be greedy. I appreciate everybody jumping in here. Make sure everybody that's watching over on TikTok right now is tapping that screen, filling up those like meters. Let's get 1,000+ likes here. Guys, John Frost in the house. What's going on? Scott, what's going on? Hola, brother. Stoked to catch a show. Good to see you in here, bro. Good to see all of you guys in here smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let's make sure here we're not missing any chats at all. Let me do a quick little sweep here of the chats. Make sure everybody's good. All right. So, Bitcoin, yeah. Nice little pullback. Got rejected, right? Overall, looking at the more macro things here, we got rejected on the previous month high on the 1 hour here yesterday, right? Yesterday, we had a nice sweep here. You can see this candle right up here. Very strong sweep of this previous month high. That was the reversal signal. Unfortunately, I missed that entry. We waited this morning, got another retest here of this Asia high and untapped daily MPLC, swept that area, came back for a second sweep and took the short on the second sweep, and down we went. We've gone all the way down to some critical support here on the previous week high and the previous day low, all the way down to the weekly open. We swept this area, and now we are bouncing back up towards 92,420, at least 420 for 92,000 here, as this is the 382 fib, the gold pocket from this high to this low. So that is definitely a target to the upside. Like I said, I already closed out my long here for the day. Took my nice $165 profit on top of the short that I took. I made over 270 bucks. So I'm well over 300 to close to 400 bucks in profit for the day, and I'm happy with that. Right? So I'll wait for the rest of the day to close out, see where Bitcoin heads back up to. Look, we just tapped. Oh, we're about to tap this 92,420 right now as we speak. We're at 92,398. About to bounce up here and just tap this 382 fib. Appreciate everybody over here on TikTok. Do you think Bitcoin will drop? Well, once we close out the day for today, right? Once we start closing out the day here, we're going to be setting a new previous day low right around this 91,200. Oops, did not mean to move that gold pocket. We need to see if we come back and get another retest of this area, which is very possible. We see this a lot during these big drops during the middle of the day, and then we get a slight little bounce towards the later part of the day. Usually the next day, right, at 7 p.m. Eastern time when the Asia trading session begins, we come back and retest these levels. If we sweep them again, then we will continue going back up. Now, if this area is lost, which is possible, right, if we lose this 91,259 for Bitcoin, Bitcoin's next main target to the downside would be 89,900 and 900 bucks. Right, we have 89,983. We have a few targets stacked up here, but they're all between 89.9 to 89.8 for Bitcoin to the downside. That is our weekly target to the downside. We don't want to be dropping lower than that. We start dropping lower than that, and then Bitcoin is getting in a little bit of trouble, potentially going to be running down for 83,000. We don't want that here. No, no, no. We don't want that, right? Bitcoin's dominance has also been slowly dropping to the downside here. As you guys can see, we have dropped below all of our daily levels and weekly levels here for the Bitcoin dominance. Our next big target to the downside would be our previous quarter low at 58.49. We have not been at this low since Q4 of 2025, which was a long time ago. I know it feels like a long time ago, but back on November 26 was the last time we were that low on the Bitcoin dominance. So if we start dropping below that 58.49, you better, guys, buckle up, because the altcoins are going to be running. The altcoins are going to be running. Let's go take a look at Ethereum here. Ethereum for the day, following Bitcoin exactly, had a nice little breakout and retest of this Monday high, but with Bitcoin dumping, it could not hold, started to lose support, and pretty much came all the way down, hitting all of our lows here of the Asia low, and we kind of stopped out here in the middle of no man's land around 31.82. Unfortunately, we didn't come and hit our daily NPLC down here of 31.62. That would have been a nice little target to the downside, but you know, Bitcoin started to have a little recovery, and there it is. The drop has ended so far for Bitcoin, which pauses, right? Wherever Bitcoin goes, the altcoins follow. If Bitcoin drops, altcoins drop. If Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump. Anyone trading crude oil, Angola supply here, let's go cover some oil prices here, guys. Oil prices right now are sitting around $56. Okay, here we go. Earlier today, oil prices tried to get above the previous week high around $58. Tried to build some support, and then lost it. Just had a massive drop down to 58.10. Below that, got rejected off the daily open and the daily VWAP, and started dropping like it's hot. We're currently sitting at 56.93. We've dropped through the weekly open and monthly open. Our next target to the downside for oil here is 56.60 to 56.31. If those areas are lost, look out for 54.98 to the downside as the previous quarter low for oil. So that's what we got going on for gold. B-Fire, what's going on, B-Fire? Good to see you in here. Let's go take a look at silver. Silver having a nice little rally today. It's been slow and steady grind all week here. As you guys can see, just hovering above this daily VWAP, having little pullbacks and a pump, little pullback and a pump. So we've pumped up to $81. We're now pulling back here. We've broken through the gold pocket. Our daily VWAP is somewhere around $79. $79 and what? $79, almost $79 flat, pretty much. Coming down there wouldn't surprise me as a little retest and then continuation to the upside. We are targeting $83.92 for silver on the way up. We break above 83 and we're looking for $88.63 for silver. Let's jump back over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin having a little slight pullback after slightly tapping or almost tapping that 92,420. Sell or keep ETH, XRP, Gala, and Solana? Daniel, fantastic question. Right? Is it time to sell or is it time to hold on? This is a hard question to answer. B-Fire says, where do you see XRP going? We're going to get to that in just a second. So it depends on what your entries were, right? So for keeping or selling altcoins right now, it depends what your entry was. If your entry was extremely low, right? The grand majority of my entries for Ethereum are below $1,000. So am I worried about Ethereum dropping? No. The majority of my Solana was below $100. A good portion of it was at 20, and then another good portion was around 80. Am I freaking out if we drop lower? No. I'm not, right? Now, if we drop lower, I'm willing to buy more, but I'm not paying attention to the altcoin charts. I'm paying attention to the Bitcoin chart, because wherever Bitcoin goes, the altcoins will follow. We know that there is a potential bull trap setting up for 96 to 98,000. If Bitcoin gets rejected at those levels, we're going to see a major pullback for the altcoins, right? If Bitcoin pulls back from there and gets rejected, Bitcoin's most likely coming down to 67,000. If that occurs, your altcoins are going to get crushed. That is one of the main reasons why I'm not buying any altcoins right now. But if you are buying altcoins right now, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, all those three are definitely due for a rally to the upside. Gala, I haven't looked at the chart in a long time, but it could definitely have a rally here and there. Let's go take a look at Gala, see if it's had any pump in the last couple of days. It's up 24% on the week, so not too bad. Not too bad. Up 24% on the week here. And I personally am not looking to buy Gala right now or any altcoin. Am I willing to hold Ethereum and Solana for the long term? Yes. Am I willing to hold XRP for the long term? By the way, disclosure, I'm not an XRP holder, but if I did have XRP, if I didn't buy below $1, I'd be nervous, right? So if you were an XRP holder that started to buy above $2, there is definitely a lot of targets for XRP to the downside. So let's just jump on over to that right now, which blends in both questions perfectly, right? XRP has had a very nice rally here. Let's jump on out to the daily. Has had a very nice rally from 177 that we hit during December all the way up to our yearly NPLC of $2.41. This also is leading up towards the upper band of this downtrend that XRP's been in for the last 6 months. If Bitcoin continues pulling back, XRP will pull back along with it. And if Bitcoin has that dump down to 67, I'm definitely looking for XRP to come to 149 to as low as 109, which is why I'm saying if you're an XRP buyer above $2, you should be nervous, right? I would be nervous if I was buying XRP above $2 because there is still a potential of dropping down to 109 for XRP. Now, we know that we're looking for Bitcoin to continue pushing up higher towards that $96,000 to $98,000 area. So we do have a target higher up here for XRP. If Bitcoin pushes up, XRP should push up as well. Its gold pocket is sitting around 281 before running into its 2025 value area high at 291 for XRP. What's going on here? What's going on, William? Good to see you. Good to see you, Joey. Good to see you, William. Good. B Fire says XRP. Thank you, Williams, for smashing that subscribe. Let's go. Yes, trading XRP is perfectly fine. You can trade XRP all day. It just follows along what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin pumps, XRP pumps. All right, let's jump back here into the chat. Just want to say thank you for taking time for answering questions about crypto. My appreciation. No, thank you, man. Thank you for watching the live streams. Thank you for smashing those likes. Guys, we got 100 people watching. Let's tap those likes. Let's get 1,000 likes here on TikTok. Tap those screens for the next 5 seconds. For the next 5 seconds, everybody tap that screen and pump up those like meters. And let's get over 1,000 likes here, guys. Do you think we're headed into a mini alt season? If Bitcoin's dominance continues dropping and has a drop below the previous quarter low of, what was it, 58.49, then we could be having a little mini altcoin season, especially if Bitcoin's price continues pumping towards that 96 to 98 with the Bitcoin dominance dropping. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a little mini altcoin season, right? A little nice altcoin rally here. Now, XEN, I warned everybody this morning about XEN, right? We did rally all the way up to the 382. We rallied all the way up to the 382 / yearly naked point of control 0.012. We got rejected off of there. Bitcoin's been pulling back. It's currently sitting at 0.0094. If this thing loses the value area low of its yearly range at 0.0084, look for targets to the downside around 0.069. So be very careful here. This had a very drastic rally to the upside. It can have a very drastic drop to the downside. Now, obviously, if markets continue rallying overall, we still have two very, very large targets to the upside at 0.018 and 0.022. So very big targets to the upside for what's this thing called? For XEN. What is it? Yeah, XEN. So just very volatile asset. Be very, very careful trading that, especially if you're using any type of leverage. Did you notice the Adam and Eve pattern on Bitcoin to 100K? No, I haven't looked at no Adam and Eve pattern. I don't really look at patterns. Not really a pattern trader overall. Did the banks in Japan just do a collaboration with Ripple? I don't know. I haven't looked into any of that. I haven't seen any news articles about it. XCN, I need that thing to sail. Let's go. Scott, I mean, it has had a very nice rally already. It's had a very nice rally already, right? It's already pumped like over 100 and something percent. So XEN over 114% this week, 73% on the month, 21% on the day. That's already a pretty drastic run. One of the things that surprises me the most is that in the last week, this is the top 200. Let's go back to the top 100. In the last week, Render, the top performing asset in the top 100, up 87%. We got nearly close to 100. We were like a 90-something percent rally for Render before this slight pullback. So Render has been performing extremely well here. Is AI about to have a major comeback, right? We got Virtuous Protocol, the second most performing asset in the week, up 63% in the top 100. So it looks like AI wants to start making a little pop back up here. Man, I'm hoping Render gets back above that $13 price point. Let's jump here. The chat is flying, guys. I'm trying to keep up. Appreciate everybody in here. I'm stuck there. Scott, you're stuck on XEN? Oh, man. Can XRP do a 10x in a bull run? No. It's not going to do another 10x, guys. It's not going to do anything like that. It pumped from 50 cents to $3.66. Take what you can. Now, can XRP eventually at some point hit $5? Yes, it can, but it's not going to 10x from where it's at right now. XRP is a good coin, legit. It's definitely a legit coin. It's been around for a long time. It ain't going to rug pull or anything like that, but the narratives around XRP are not legit. The narratives that content creators spin across XRP are not legit. What do you think about XRP? Like I said, XRP is an asset like anything else. It has pumps, it has dumps. It follows along with Bitcoin like every other altcoin. It's a perfectly good asset to invest in, just like anything else in the short term or long term. You just got to be careful into drinking the Kool-Aid, right? If you're starting to believe all the crazy asset narratives for XRP out there, how it's going to go to $10, it's going to go to $100, and that it has a 400 and something X multiplier on its market cap, and it's just going to blast off and do all this crazy stuff, I'm telling you, you're going to end up getting wrecked. Billy Goattails, what's going on, Billy Goattails? XRP, you kept a straight face too, bro. Yeah, man. You know, it's a fine asset to trade. If you made money on it, if you got in below $1 and you hit 366, I hope you took some profits. If you didn't, you might learn a hard lesson, just like everybody else, that every asset comes down when Bitcoin comes down. Now, if Bitcoin shows us mercy here and does flip 98,000 and goes up higher in 2026, then, you know, altcoins are going to rally as well, and you might get saved at that point. But if Bitcoin says, no mercy today, and we drop down to 67K, your XRP bags are going to dump just like everyone else's bags. Would you say now would be a good entry point for a long on XRP? No, I wouldn't say that because XRP has just come into a pretty decent resistance here, pretty decent target overall of $2.41. Now, if we have a pullback closer to this 205, maybe this 196 area, that would be a better area for an entry for a long on XRP. Billy Goattails, 589 incoming. Any day now, I'm sure. Any day now. What happened to October? You were so hyped. Dude, we did great in October. We went up to $126,000 Bitcoin. We made a trade on Bitcoin, made over $2,600 on that one trade for Bitcoin. Then we got October 10th, massive liquidation event. Look, I'll even show you guys my P&L right here. I'll even show you guys my P&L for October. Look, let's run it all the way back to October here. Where are we? Where are we? Here we go. Look at this P&L, guys. Look at this P&L. So we literally made $2,800 on the first week of October on that big run up to the upside. That's when I closed out my long, made $2,800 that day. On October 10th, we had a massive liquidation event. I got caught with a few altcoin longs open and I got wrecked. I lost $4,200 that day, right? Boom, massive loss. My biggest loss in one single day ever. But guess what? We came back the following week, made $2,600. We came back the following week after that, made $1,400, and we ended up closing out the month at $3,700 in profit. So if anybody is here coming in like, oh, you were so bullish in October, I did, and I made the monies. So yeah. Let's see here. XRP will skyrocket because of Bitcoin going to zero. LOL. Yeah, maybe someday. Maybe someday in the distant future, in some hologram alternate universe, Bitcoin will go to zero and XRP will go to all-time highs. Can you do TA for Aerodrome? Yes, I can. Aerodrome, here we go. All right, let's look at Aero here. Let's update this chart here real quick. Come on, December 31st. Here we go. Let's get some. Got a quarterly right over here. Turn this magnet off. We're doing a chart here for Aerodrome. Make sure you guys are smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Getting the quarterly average here for Aerodrome. Let's get the 6 month. Come on. Okay. So overall, Aerodrome here in the last 6 months has pretty much been in a nice downtrend. Let me get July 1st till October 31st. I mean, December 31st. Very nice downtrend here. We have fallen out of the yearly trend to the upside for 2025. We're trying to reclaim the 2025 range. If we can stay above the range value area low, which is around 57 cents, we're currently at 58 cents. Our targets to the upside are 70 to 86 cents for Aerodrome. Those are all of our targets here to the upside. Once we can get above 86 cents, we could potentially have a rally here. Let's see. Let's get a local gold pocket from this high. From the high back in August to the current low. If we get above the $86 target, our next big target, which is a gold pocket, up at $1.17 for Aerodrome. $1.17 for Aerodrome is our next big target to the upside above $86. Let's jump back here into the chat. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. If you could only buy 10 cryptos, what are the 10 cryptos I would buy? If I could only buy 10, Bitcoin and Ethereum are on the list. So you let me know, do you want 10 outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, or, you know, all goes, if I had to set up a 10 coin crypto portfolio right now, what would I do? If I could include Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are definitely there, right? My two biggest holdings, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Outside of that, BitTensor Tau. Outside of that, let's see here. Let's go to We got Bitcoin and Ethereum, definitely some Solana, definitely some Chainlink. So we got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink. We've got Sui. We've got Avalanche. That's 6. We've got Uniswap, 7. We've got a lot of good ones here, man. I'll throw Aster in there as number 8, just a little bit higher risk play. I'll throw in Aster, and that's number 8. I got 9 and 10 left. Let's see here, number 9 and number 10. Number 9, I'll take a flyer on Pudgy Penguins. Throw in some extra risk there to get some bigger gains. Pudgy Penguins, and my last one, my number 10. If I had to pick only 10, very tough here. Could be maybe Morpho or maybe some Algorand. I'll throw in Algorand just for a little bit safer play. Throw in Algorand in there. Why not? Did you include XRP? No, I didn't include XRP. I'm never a long-term holder of XRP. Never will be a long-term holder of XRP. Will I take a trade on XRP? Yes, here and there, but XRP is not for me. I don't vibe with that cult-like mentality. That's just not the asset I want to be in. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let's see here. Very undervalued. What's very undervalued? Appreciate the transparency. No problem, man. Always 100% transparent. Smart man on the XRP. Yeah, man. XRP is a bunch of fugazi. If it wasn't such a heavy cult and it wasn't based on such massive amounts of rumors that have all been wrong over the last 8 years, I would be okay, decently okay with XRP, right? I'm still against the whole thesis of XRP, but the fact that there's such a strong cult-like mentality behind it and everybody thinks that they are going to flip the switch and XRP is going to take over the SWIFT system and all the money is going to flow into XRP and Bitcoin's going to go to zero because Bitcoin has no utility, but XRP is the chosen one. You lost me, bro. I'm out. So tired of hearing new people get in and get heavy on XRP. Oh, dude, with everybody out here, right? The content creators on XRP, people make content on XRP because the cult follows XRP so hard that no matter who it is, anybody can show up and say some ridiculous thing about XRP that makes no sense. It gets 1,000 likes in a minute. 1,000 likes in a minute. It gets 100,000 views like there's no tomorrow. And they don't even know half the things you're talking about. XRP's over $2, over $3. I'm buying XRP. Oh, yeah, we're going to $10. Guess what, guys? Everybody that bought XRP over $3 had to take a massive gut punch and bring it all the way down to 177. But we were never going to go below $2 again. Don't worry. Just like we're never going to go below $1 again. It's never going to happen. Never. The XRP burn doesn't even burn a small fraction, and it goes against the point. I didn't even know they had a burn. All I know is that they have a massive dump every month from the escrow. Yet you guys trust this centralized entity to keep doing what's best for you. Should I buy $600 worth of silver today? So let's go take a look at silver's price. Where's my silver chart? So, guys, I know a lot of people are very interested in buying silver nowadays because it's making all the headlines, it's breaking out, making crazy all-time highs, yada, 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 right? And that's fantastic. And yes, we still have targets at 83 to as high as $80 and maybe even higher up, right? But I want you guys to see this other silver chart. And even though silver can go higher, and it might, and it probably will, right? Here's why I'm not buying silver. I'll take longs on silver, right? I'll trade silver futures. Where's my where the heck happened to my bruh? What the heck happened to my chart here? Oh, here it is. All right. Above $89, we do have some targets. We have a big 1-to-1 all the way up at 216 for silver. Like I said, we can go higher. I'll take longs on silver future contracts, but I'm not gonna go buy a spot. I'm not gonna go buy a spot because look, every time we've had a blow off top, look at this top right here. This was back, this is 2011. Let's jump. Oh yeah, look at this. Here, let's jump out to the monthly. There you go. This chart is so long. So, as you guys can see here, right, this top that you guys see, this first big top was back in 1980. We topped out around $49, and it took us 13 years. We didn't bottom until 1993, 13 years later, right? And then it took us 10 years of going sideways until 03 before we started having any significant rally to the upside. We topped out again at 2011, right? 2011, we top out. We drop back down. We find a bottom in 2020. Took us 9 years to find a bottom before pushing back up, right? Then we pushed up into 2021, went sideways all the way till 23. And then in 23, we started pumping again, right? Now we're pumping. We can go to 89. Maybe we even go up to $200 like some people are saying. Maybe we go to 200. Okay, cool. If you're buying spot, now you better be aggressive on taking profits. If you see over $100 silver and we get anywhere near $200, if we get anywhere near, right, the chances are low, but if we get anywhere near $200, you guys better be lining up at the store to sell your silver, because if you don't, what's going to happen here is you're going to spend somewhere between 13 to 9 years before we find the next bottom for silver. The next bottom. Because it's not going to go up forever. It's not going to go up forever. It will have a blow off top, just like it did back in 1980. Look at this. It went from $4 all the way, $4 in 75 to $46 in 80, right? 5 years of pumping. And then same thing over here from 03 or whatever. We bottomed out at $4 again. And we ran all the way up to $48 in a time span of close to 8 years, close to 7 to 8 years. Then same thing again. So we will have another bottom that will take potentially 5 to 9 years to bottom out on the gracious side. On the worst side, we're looking at 13 years plus to bottom out again. And that is a long time of dollar cost averaging to the downside, my friends. So that is the reason why I am not buying silver in spot. And if I were to be buying silver spot right now and we got anywhere over 100, I would be itching to go run to the store and start selling before, if we even get anywhere near 200, I'm out the door. I am out the door waiting at the store at 6 a.m. before the store opens to dump my silver. You guys think the crypto market will crash? No, there's no real reason to think the Bitcoin market is going to crash just yet, right? Look, Bitcoin's pumping back up again. Bitcoin's back up at 92,483. Very nice. This little sweep here of this previous day low proving to be very, very significant and pushing up higher. How high are we going to go today, man? This is a nice little recovery here for Bitcoin. So, like I said, the overall test of whether Bitcoin is going to crash down lots lower towards that 67,000 and lower is going to be 96 or 98. If we get rejected there on the monthly to quarterly time frame, we are looking at 67K incoming in 2026. Now, if we can flip 98 into support and close some monthlies and quarterlies above it, then we're looking for potentially a new all-time high in 2026. So you're saying they are making silver go up and then crash it? It's not that they're going to crash it. It's just at some point, people have been stacking silver for so long, right? You're just thinking about retail, right? Retail has been stacking silver since $4 for the last 10 years. at $4, and then let's say you reach $100 to $200, you think people are not going to sell? Let's just do some basic math, my friends. Some basic math. Let's say, let's get a calculator out here. Let's pull it up. Let's say over the last 10 years, you have been a serious silver buyer and you've been stacking silver. And let's say you bought about $5,000 worth of silver at an average price of $10. Let's say an average price of $10, right? You've got about 500 ounces of silver. Now you multiply that times $100. Let's get to $100. That's $50,000, my friends. $50,000 on an average person that was able to dollar cost average $5,000 at an average price of $10 over the last 10 years, right? Over the last 10 years. So if you invested $5,000 over the last 10 years, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of money. Let's see. What do we do here? 5 years. 5 times 365, right? How many days? Oops. 5 times 365. That's 1,825 days, right? So if we divide 5,000 divided by 1825, that means that they were dollar cost averaging about $2.73 over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years. That's not even accounting the whole 10 years, right? That's just over 5 years. So they've been buying very small amounts over the last 10 years, accumulated $5,000 worth of gold, of silver at an average of $10. They got 50K. Now, if that same 500 ounces goes to, let's say, 200, like everyone is out there screaming about, that's $100,000 for an average person that had 10 years to dollar cost average $5,000 at an average around $10. That is a phenomenal trade. How would you not be getting ready to sell all your silver and rack up 100K, right? Rack up 100K. People can buy 3 houses, right? 3 houses with 100K. Now let's keep talking. This is just the regular retail people with silver. Now we're talking about people that are institutional players, hedge fund managers, whatever, that have been longing, shorting, been trading silver on futures contracts. You think they're not going to take profits on their trades? You think they're not going to eventually hit the short button and start shorting that bad boy as it gets overextended? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just one of those things. They will happen. And people think that it's going to go up forever because the U.S. dollar is getting displaced. The new world asset currency is taking over. This and that is happening. Guys, people take profits. It's that simple. People take profits. 0.1 Bitcoin for every 100K you need to cover your debt 10 to 16 years from now. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Arbitrum? Let's go take a look at Arbitrum. Damn, Bitcoin is pumping, man. 92,541, smashing through the 382 fib. Next big target to the upside is around 92,900, aka 93,000. So very, very nice little push to the upside here for Biddy here at the later part of the day. What are we talking about? Arbitrum. Let's go take a look at Arbitrum. I'm going to have to update this chart because it's been a hot minute since I've looked at Arbitrum. A hot minute. Let's turn this indicator off. Turn this one off as well. Arbitrum. Okay, let's get rid of all this. Goodbye. Goodbye. Deleting all this stuff off the chart. Good old Arbitrum. All right. Let's get the yearly range here. Boom. Let's get the yearly MPLC. All right. Let's get some yearly averages. All right. And let's get the 6 month here. Let's get a quarterly. All right. Filling out the Arbitrum chart right now. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Don't hold out on those likes, guys. And let's get a 6 month range here. 6 month trend, I should say. 6 month trend here from July 1st. Come on. All the way. All right, cool. So 6 month trend, like everything else, has been in a massive pull to the downside. Let's actually get a gold pocket here from this local high to this local bottom, the liquidation bottom. Perfect. Arbitrum is currently sitting at 21 cents here. Our first two targets to the upside is 25 cents, a quarterly untapped average. Above 25 cents, we're running for the value area low of the yearly range, which lines up with the 382 fib and a 6 month untapped average around 30 cents. Once we can hold above 30 cents for Arbitrum, our targets that we're looking at are between 33, which is the yearly NPOC, and 41, which is the yearly average. Above 41, we have a gold pocket at 44 cents for Arbitrum. Those are the local targets here for the short to midterm for Arbitrum here into 2026 if we continue to the upside. Obviously, if we continue our downtrend, we can pump all the way up to 30 cents, hit the upper band of this downtrend, and then continue to the downside with a target of at least 10 cents in mind with this liquidation event bottom. The next cycle, we will absolutely see crypto in 10 trillion plus market caps. Maybe. Definitely maybe. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe over here on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes and sharing out the live stream. You think Bitcoin's going to hit 94K today? I don't think it's going to hit 94K today again. We got rejected off 94.6 yesterday, right? We got rejected off of there yesterday. We got rejected from the 94,100 this morning, which we took a short on. And now we've dropped all the way down. We did sweep the previous day low, right? And the previous day low sweep normally takes us to the previous day high, but I don't think we have enough time in the day to rally us back towards the previous day high, right? Now we can rally back towards the Monday high with that sweep. Meanwhile, we hold above 91,400. There is a potential that we could rally back up towards 94,700 later this week, maybe, right? I'll probably put it like at a 40% chance. But we could definitely be rallying back up here, hit this gold pocket 93.2 or anything else around this area with these VWAPs coming in around 93, create another lower high, and then start getting pushed back down again. And if we start losing this weekly open at 91.4, we are looking for more downside towards 89,000. My friend, stop spamming Arbitrum in the chat. If you keep spamming it, I will ban you. So please stop spamming Arbitrum. No, I don't think Arbitrum is a good buy today. I don't think any altcoin is a good buy today. I'm not buying any altcoins. Just my personal preference, my personal opinion. What's your 3 to 5 year outlook on SUI? I don't do outlooks on SUI like that or on any altcoin realistically. Bitcoin, we can talk about that. Ethereum, we can talk about that, right? Maybe even Solana a little bit, but outside of that, maybe XRP, but nothing else really. Can you really do anything accurate 3 to 5 years from now, right? You just don't know. 3 to 5 years from now, the game is going to be so different. The market is so different today from what it was in 2021, right? Most people in 2021 would have said that by 2025, 2026, all these altcoins like AVAX and Cardano and XRP would have been at these super wild all-time highs. And the grand majority of legacy altcoins did not hit an all-time high from 2021. They didn't. They just didn't, right? So it's very hard to say if SUI is even going to be around in the next 3 to 5 years. A lot of altcoins that are great today will not be around in the next 3 to 5 years. That's happened every single cycle in the past. We've had great altcoins with massive potential, and then they disappear from one cycle to the next, and they just go to zero. They disappear. They become a ghost chain. So all I would say is in the next 3 to 5 years, if your altcoin is not heavily adopted into major institutional ETFs, most likely your altcoin is not going to be around. It's going to go away. There is a crypto bubble happening in general, just like there was the .com bubble, right? Where there was just all these internet companies coming online. Everything was just blasting off. There's just way too many altcoins, and the grand majority of them are all garbage. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of altcoins. And there realistically doesn't need to be that many. And at some point, they're all going to get wiped out. They're going to hit absolute zero, and only a few will be left to survive, which would be the ones that are adopted by institutions. Bitcoin, ETH are completely different animals with different purposes. I 100% agree. Bitcoin, ETH, and Link, but anything outside of Bitcoin are actually risky. Yep, 100% agree. Let's see here. The entire stock market will be moved and built on top of blockchain. S&P 500 is 48 trillion market cap. Yes, sir. Yes, it will. All pump and dumps. The grand majority of altcoins are pump and dumps. This guy actually seems to know a decent amount from what I can tell so far. Appreciate that, man. I've only been around in the crypto space since 2017. So, yes, I've seen it all happen. I've seen all the pumps. I've seen all the dumps. I've seen all the great altcoins come and go. Everybody that's out here just shilling and pushing altcoins that are going to 100x, 50x, buy all these little tiny micro cap, below 100 mil market cap cryptos because they're the best. And they're not. You're not talking about risk management. You're not talking about longevity, long-term portfolios, taking profits, being careful, and getting out of positions. And hey, this crypto might be great right now. The narrative might be fantastic, but realistically, we don't know if this thing's best case is a startup. Is it even going to be around the next 2 to 3 years? Can definitely just go away. So anybody telling you not to worry, you should be worried. No one can predict crypto market volatility and climbs. Not true. Not true. Injective. Let's go take a look at Injective. Also going to have to update this chart here. All right. All right, doing the Injective chart right now. Make sure you guys are smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, guys. Where is quarterly? If you guys have not already joined the Crypto Citadel, my private trading community, definitely do so and join. You can get 50% off your first month right now with the code Citadel50. And if you're wondering what is available, what do you get for being inside that community, it's not just about day trading, guys. It's not just about day trading. It's about finding long-term macro analysis for all of you long-term holders, daily trade setups, trade signals for day trades and swing trades, 1 hour and 36-minute trading course along with my private trading indicators and my live trading sessions Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. All of that for $5 a day, guys. $5 a day, you can get 50% off your first month to try it out. So if you want to step it up, you want to start moving up as an investor, you want to get serious about investing, growing portfolios, and learning about risk management, definitely join the Crypto Citadel. The link is in the profile. Go to the profile, click on it, and you'll find it. All right, so Injective here. Very nice downtrend for the last 6 months, like everything else. Trying to make a push back towards the value area low of 2025. We do have 2 targets along the way there. We're currently at 549 and being held down by the heart line of the downtrend. But if we can push to at least the value area low of 2025, we are looking at targets between 685 to 781. If we can get above 781 and hold above that area, we will be regaining the 2025 yearly range for Injective. And our targets inside that range are between 1112 to 1358 for Injective. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin here. As soon as you see some shilling XRP, you should run for the hills. Yeah, I agree. Can VeChain survive? Yes, man, VeChain can survive. It can. It's been struggling, my dude. It's been struggling. It's one of those legacy coins that has a lot of good utility, a lot of good partnerships, but just not, price is just not reflective of the fundamentals. So targets right now here on the short term for VeChain, we're in a massive downtrend for the last 2 quarters, for quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2025. We need to get above 0.017 to get back into the 2025 yearly range. If we do, we have a target around 2.5 cents, which is the quarterly and yearly NPLC for VeChain. Daxo says, "What's up, Crusader? If Trump's tariff is ruled illegal, what if Trump's? I don't know. I'm not any political major or whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. They've been talking about doing a bunch of stimulus checks to give all the money away, so that if they do rule it illegally, they can't do anything. The money's already gone. But honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't waste my time on all that. If that situation with politics and all this other stuff, because you just never know what they're gonna do, man. You just never know. They're playing out their 3D chess. We're over here playing checkers, bro. So I just try to stick to whatever the charts are telling me. You know, taking my trades, getting my shorts and my longs where I can. Today I made over $300 trading. Made $270 on a short from a short on Bitcoin from 94,100, and then I longed it. I longed it right around this bottom here of 91,400. Longed it when I saw this sweep. Closed right around 92,100. Wait before my big TP of 92,400. Made another $165 on this trade. Walked away with about 400 something bucks. So very, very happy overall. Hi, Crusader. Did you start a new live stream? I was on earlier one. No, I have 2 YouTube live streams on at the same time. I have a vertical live stream and I have a horizontal live stream. Politicians are worse than XRP influencers. 100%, dude. 100%. Dude, I need to see the price action. The price action for what? I'm saying the effects in the market. That's why I'm asking. Dude, I don't really know. I don't really know how to, put that into the markets. Obviously, it probably will not be good if they say, yeah, you got to give back all those trillions of dollars. Definitely can't be good for the market in the short term. Do you think we continue to climb? I follow another gentleman said possible 2 to 5x altcoin end of January. Guys, I'm not hyper focused on how far the altcoins can go by the end of January. I think overall quarter 1 of 2026 is going to be very bullish. There's a big chance that we run definitely for $96,000 to $98,000 for Bitcoin in quarter 1, whether it happens in January or it happens in quarter 1 overall. That's going to be the make it or break it point for the crypto rally, right? The 2026 bull run, yes or no. If we flip 98,000 into support on the monthly or quarterly time frame, we will be looking for higher price action for Bitcoin, meaning altcoins will continue to rally. Now, if Bitcoin gets rejected at 98,000, look out below because Bitcoin is potentially going to be dumping down to $67,000 and your altcoins will get crushed. Rate cuts will flood the market with cheap money and risk assets. That is definitely a factor to be taken into account. We just pulled back. Yeah, we had a little pullback today for Bitcoin. I called it out in the Crypto Citadel. We were trading this morning, as you guys can see right here. Right, Bitcoin short condition, Asia high sweep confirmed, entry 94,100 TPs, and we pretty much hit all TPs. So 94,100, we took the short, closed out right before TP3 around 93,000. 92,600 was a gold pocket here. I already deleted it. We blasted through that and came all the way down to the previous day low and weekly open. We swept that area. I took a long, closed out around right around here, 92,134. Got impatient with waiting for this 92,400. Walked away with another $165. 165 plus, what is it that I made this morning? 271. That's a nice little, let's see what the calculator says. What does the calculator say? 271 plus 165, 436, guys. Walked away with 436 macaroons today. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic day. Always keeping it 100% transparent. I hope all of you guys are smashing those likes. I hope you guys are looking to level up your investment strategies. And as an investor overall, right, the best way to grow your portfolio is by reading charts, my friends. If you are not reading charts, you just don't know where the levels are going, right? You don't know where the market structure is. You don't know where the resistance is. You get caught up in the hype and FOMO. When you see all these green bubbles on the week, all you hear is, we're back, we're back, we're back. And you're going to hear all these influencers screaming from the hilltops about how the altcoin season is here. It's time to buy, 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 buy. But nobody's talking about the potential bull trap at 98,000 that could lead Bitcoin dumping down to 67 and, managing risk according to that, because they're not reading charts. Thank you for this. Thank you for the subscribe. Let's go. They're just looking at bubbles. They're just looking at hype and FOMO. They're just trying to get views on their videos. I'm here to tell you the truth, guys. So I just tell you what's on the chart. I don't give you my opinion. I just tell you what's on the chart. If you want to be able to read what's on the chart, I've never made more money in my life until I was able to start reading charts. That's when I started making a significant amount of money. Now, yes, I do have my long-term portfolio, which has been performing great since I started developing it back in 2017. But my day-to-day, my month-to-month portfolio, my trading portfolio, I've never made more money in my life until I started to actively be a day trader. Now, I don't want everybody to be a day trader. I'm not trying to make everybody into a day trader. But even for the people that are long-term holders, I could have made so much better dollar cost averaging decisions overall if I had started reading charts back in 2017, 2018. If I would have been able to identify market structure, I would have been able to find and identify those bottoms for Bitcoin, right? And been buying a heavy load, a very heavy load at those lower ends. And when we were at the higher ends, I would have been like, hey, maybe right now is not the time to be buying. Gotta be careful, right? And I would have been buying so many altcoins and leading and falling into all the traps, right? All the bull traps, this and that. It's just, I would have been so much better and my portfolio would have grown exponentially faster because I would have just made way better decisions in my long-term portfolio. So I'm not really trying to push people to read charts to become day traders. I'm pushing you guys to read charts so that you guys can be better long-term investors, right? Because you can't just blindly dollar cost average forever. If you think that you can just blindly dollar cost average forever and buy every single dip out there, the dip will keep dipping and eventually you'll run out of cash. So unless you have a very good job that is making you a ton of money and you have very low expenses at the end of the month that leaves you with a massive amount of cash flow for you to endlessly dollar cost average forever, then whatever, right? But that's very few people out there, if any. And even then, just being able to strategically know that, hey, if I wait a little bit longer, I'm going to be getting way better price action. Not because the social media content creators are saying we're going lower, but because the charts are showing the levels. The charts are showing resistance. The chart is showing price weakness and trending to the downside. So if you want to start leveling up yourself as a real investor and start being able to read charts, join the Crypto Citadel right now. The link is in my profile. Get 50% off your first month with the code Citadel50. Thoughts on a portfolio with 70% SUI and 30% Chainlink? Get some more diversification in there, brother. Get some more diversification in there. Right now, obviously, those are two good altcoins, but altcoins are high risk. If Bitcoin dumps down to 67,000, SUI and Chainlink are going to get wrecked, guys. They're going to get wrecked. Guys, I appreciate everybody out here smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and joining the Crypto Citadel. Like I said, the link is in the profile. Go over there and link and join. It's $5 a day, 50% off your first month with the code Citadel50. I hope to see all of you guys in the Crypto Citadel. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading to these blockchains. Until next time, see ya.